I'm just talking this out on my walk because that's the only time I ever realize stuff. And this can be maybe like an example of like how to, I guess, mentally process things, or how I do. But I'm just not feeling good lately. I would say I've been having some gray days. And I mean, I was trying to think like what it was triggered from. And I haven't been like creatively inspired recently, which I was trying to get to the root of that. Like, what is creative inspiration? Where does that spark from? And, you know, maybe it could just be different experiences that remind you of things. So I guess me just being more open to switching up my day-to-day life. Capricorn full moon coming up in 2 days, which is probably why I'm in this energy in the first place. So this is the first time that like I'm just like things are slowing down and I'm like, okay, what is my life when I'm not creating? And I'm realizing that, I mean, I'm creating right now. This is me coping. I feel like if I'm not helping other people, why am I here? And why is that the mindset? Also, why don't I value myself to be here without helping? And I was like, oh my God, because my entire life growing up, in my opinion, I felt like my entire life was sacrificed. So if growing up, that's all I felt like I experienced life, why would I not try to recreate that in adulthood in some form or fashion? And so I've been thinking like, I just want to devote my entire life to something. I keep getting these reoccurring thoughts. The last time I was thinking these thoughts was in January though, when the new moon in Capricorn started. So that might have something to do with this, because that's also my Chiron wound, which is what I suffer from most. My Sun and Venus too. We know about my 6th house combustion. And it's like, why am I looking for something to strip me of everything I have? Like intentionally. Like I don't want a life. Like I want to give everything to something else. And I think it's just me going back to what I know and what I'm most comfortable with. And so, again, it's reminding myself that I'm allowed to be in peace. Peace is okay. I need balance. Hello. Yo, this full moon energy is no joke. Like, you know, it's 29 degrees Neptune, 1 degree Lilith, I'm pretty sure. And, you know, it is intense. But, like, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I'm literally... Bro, and that's why, like, I just feel so not myself. Like, I'm being so for real. I'm trying to not blame it on the stars also and, like, take accountability for, like, whatever's going on. But, like, I've just been seriously so angry today. And, like, I'm not an angry person. And I've just been feeling, like, extra triggered. Like, from things that happened in my childhood for sure. Like, it's not just, like, random occurrence, you know? But it's just, like, whoa. Like, this is super out of character. I'm looking for reasons to be angry because of this like new profound peace I'm experiencing. It's like when you eat vegetables for the first time as a kid, you don't really like them. You want to eat the candy, you know what I mean? But you know the vegetables are good for you. And like that's how I feel about this whole thing, is like I have to learn to like vegetables, which I do love vegetables actually. Which is crazy because I didn't when I was younger, you know, but I learned to like them, real ones. So now I have to learn to like the vegetables of peace. I'm waiting to like come up with a consensus to finish this video. So I'm just filming parts of like the struggle I've had the last couple days. And I've been so OCD, like I've been extra OCD, like to the point of like, you know, extreme behavior. Like I just always lack dopamine and I can never give my brain the stimulation it needs. And I honestly think it was probably because it was overstimulated at such a young age. Like it's hard to talk. And then we have another Capricorn full moon at the end of next month, which is going to be so riveting. Like I really hope it like completes whatever this is. I don't recognize myself from a year ago, but I also like don't really know who I am right now. I know I don't really agree with the person I was 3 months ago. These changes are happening at such a rapid rate. I kind of can't keep up with myself. And the way that I'm growing, I'm like stretching at such an extreme rate. It's like extremely overwhelming. I don't want to say I'm depressed because I'm not. I would say I'm confused. I would say there's a lot of question marks right now. I'm just like, like, what am I doing here on the planet? Like, still, I'm, like, questioning, like, what's going on? I feel like, low-key, like, the aliens left me high and dry. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm just not in the mood to not be real. Like, not being real is, like, so exhausting and impossible for me, personally, so that's just, like, not my vibe. Okay, so it's been 2 days since the Capricorn full moon now. Day 2 of like since the 9:08, so like 1 day has gone by, like 48 hours I want to say, and I had a mental breakdown this morning. I've been crying. Oh my God, I'm already crying. I like didn't I guess I'm an impatient person, number one, And I feel like a huge lesson that I'm like being taught right now is like patience with myself and others, because I'm not patient with other people, and like that's like a skill I definitely need to work on. It's the point where I have to choose to evolve or be depressed, you know? And I think everyone goes through that, where it's like, I think a lot of people get this confused with bipolar, because it's like I just grow so quickly and things bore me so quickly. Like writing a poem used to give me so much dopamine for days. I literally feel nothing after writing a poem, you know, in 5 minutes. I'm just like, oh, okay, next. I mean, that's in general, you know, it's like when you were younger, you know, you like to play with toys that you don't play with today because you outgrew them. The Capricorn new moon was on January 11th, and, you know, the full moon, like that 6-month cycle, like I've definitely cycled out. Like I'm done. And I'm just like, okay, well, what's my next quest? Maybe this darkness is a blessing in disguise that I'm not even totally aware of, because I feel like that's always what it is, you know, like coming out the other side of this, I'm always better. It's like that helpless feeling that I always feel. That's like the worst feeling. Like I think this is the worst feeling a human being can feel, is like genuinely like, okay, well, what's the point of being here? Like I've just, like, it's never been fun for me, and like I just look around and I'm like, it's so meaningful, but it's so meaningless. Do you know what I mean? Like it literally is like the most beautiful planet, but it's also the worst. And like I can't pick a side the Gemini. Like that's how I feel this Gemini season. Well, it's now Cancer season, which is probably why this is also going on, because my 12th house is Cancer ruled. Energetically, what goes up has to come down, and that's what I always talk about. And then I thought breaking through realities, but I think it's just a constant death and rebirth cycle. Like I'm just changing my mind about a lot of things. The way that I feel right now is nowhere near depression in the past. So like I was saying, I feel like we evolved to higher frequencies of fear. So like literally, like the way that I feel today is still like heaven on earth for most people. Do you know what I mean? But it's my new personal low, which I'm grateful for, right? That I'm not as low, but it's still, the pain still is there, regardless of how painful it is, you know? And I try to be like a super positive person, but like also like authenticity. Like authenticity requires some negativity if we are the yin and yang. And I would be fake to be a positive person all the damn time. It's like, shut up. Like, you're so annoying. Like, I used to hate people who are happy all the time. Like myself, which is why I intentionally used to walk around, like, with a depressed vibe. Because, like, happy people used to piss me off. And, like, I was just, like... So, in that process, I was also, like, denying myself, I guess you could say. But... Oh, my God, it's so loud. I just need the 3D and the 5D to match each other, because this is just... It's monotony. I just got back from the gym. I feel like the gym always saves me. Like, I hate when people say that, but it's just, like, so true. Like, every time I go to the gym. And it's different from working out at home versus going to the gym. Because I feel like I go to the gym, like, I don't know, like, the change of environment. I just feel like a different person in there. Anyways, so I realized, first of all, that, like, the fact that I went to the gym when I was upset, like, I'm gonna start crying. Like, that is such a healthy way to cope. Like, what? Like, I have never been someone to do something healthy like that, and I caught myself in the moment. I was like, bro, you are beating yourself up so much right now, and, like, you didn't even self-destruct in this dark moment that, like, you're experiencing, which is just, like, growth. Like, that's so cool. And, like, it wasn't even a thought, because, like, even 2 months ago, like, I had to think it through. Like, I would be like, oh my God, you really should do this instead, but it wasn't even, like, a acknowledging thought. I was just like, I have to go to the gym this morning. Like, I'm not feeling great. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's crazy how you can really train your brain to, like, do different stuff. And I'm just so proud of myself. And it's kind of giving me hope to be able to retrain my brain to calm the fuck down, because I just need to calm the fuck down. Pain is there so that we can evolve. And I'm learning to love the pain, because, like, I know, like, every single time I've ever experienced pain, like, only good things have come from it. So, grateful for the pain, not identifying with it, and we'll see where life literally takes me. I think I've been having thoughts for over a month now, and they're just coming to a head. Like, I've been having months of, like, you need to switch up your routine, and I just have been ignoring them. And I think that that's also a huge part of suffering, is ignoring those thoughts, because at first, like, I start getting these, like, you know, feelings, and I keep moving on. I'm like, no, they're not real. Like, I'll suppress them. And I'm just like, no, like, you're fine. And I've always been one to do that. I'm like, you loved this. Like, I attach to my 6th house a lot, because I'm like, no, you loved this. You loved this. You have to keep loving it. And I guess letting go has always been hard for me, not only with people, but, you know, experiences. And I think it's important to embrace change and embrace when things no longer feel in alignment, because, like, again, I miss 1111 right now. It's 1113. I've been missing all of my angel numbers. I don't even know if that's real or not, but I know when I'm feeling good, I'm always getting weird synchronicities and, like, repeating numbers and stuff, and, like, that hasn't been happening, so I just assume I'm, like, probably not in alignment. And I think I need to be better at, why am I putting gumbo? Anyway, I think I need to be better at listening to my thoughts when they first start, you know, coming on. And again, I'm grateful that I'm only realizing this after a month of these thoughts, because sometimes I let these thoughts go on for a year or 6 months, and it's like, oh my god, that's crazy, you know, like, too long, too far. We're not going to suffer for that long. But embracing change, and I think expecting change internally, because I always expect change on the external, but I don't think I give myself enough credit for, like, you know what I mean, the internal change. And just realizing that, unfortunately, in this world, it's duality vibes. If these feelings were to continue and I weren't to address these thoughts, you know, I could classify as someone with depression and potentially be put on medication had I chose, you know, that route. Like, I could easily get prescribed, you know, any antidepressants for, like, what I'm going through, and that would keep me from evolving, because it would change the chemistry in my brain to feel happy. What if I don't deserve to feel happy? I think happiness is earned. I think contentment is, you know, what we should feel. I hate saying should, but I think happiness is a blessing. We should be grateful every time we're happy, you know, kind of like when someone does something nice for you. You're grateful in that moment. You're like, oh my god, thank you. And I think we need to praise happiness more of that way, because seriously, like, instead of choosing to stay depressed, I'm choosing to evolve. Instead of choosing to go to therapy or get on my medication, I'm gonna switch up my life. You know what I mean? Like, I love being my own doctor, and I know myself better than a doctor. And again, like, no shade to anyone that needs antidepressants to stay alive. I support anything that supports anyone's life. Like, do your thing, always. Freedom, always. But I want to grow, and I want to have a new life all the time, you know? Like, I love to experience endless lives while I'm here. I'm going off the grid and buying one of these sheds. Great news! Okay, so, great news. The Capricorn full moon effects, I'm pretty sure, are over, and it's blasting me into my next quest. So what I realized is I'm actually super grateful for, like, everything going on right now. And I started realizing that a little bit more yesterday, but today I'm like, okay, full throttle. I'm so blessed that I'm not in bliss, because now I can finally have the motivation to change and do something new. You know what I mean? Like, that's a part of life. And, like, I was viewing this as like, oh my god, it's so boring, oh my god. But it's like, no, now I get to do something for the plot. Maybe this is like my toxic trait, because seriously, I do everything for the plot, whether it serves me or not, because I love to tell stories. And I want a story to tell. So like, I don't know what I'm about to do next, but I will keep updated. Sometimes I feel like my need for dopamine is good, because it keeps me pushing, keeps me trudging along. It doesn't, like, I won't get caught up in a hole anymore, or like a rut, because I'm like, I'm not doing something unhealthy. I'm going to do something healthy by challenging myself. And it could be ugly, but at least I'm not destroying my body from the inside out, you know what I mean? So like, all is fair, all is well. I have no choice. I really have no choice. It's literally depression or life. You choose. You choose. And I'm choosing to do crazy stuff. Yes, there's some things I wish I didn't do, but what would my life be if I didn't do those things? Do you know what I mean? Like, all the crazy stuff I think of that I did in the past, like, led me to where I am today. Now some of it still haunts me, but like, the other part of me is like, but look where it sent you mentally. For the worst, right? But like, I'm also just like, if you didn't get that low, you would have never come back up. So it's like, I only can thank myself.